Hey, good Tuesday evening, everyone. Meteorologist Colin Rogers here, tracking a severe thunderstorm warning right now that's moving through portions of Ottawa and Kent counties. Areas like Holland and Grand Rapids, you are under this severe thunderstorm warning. So let's zoom in here. We can see that lighter shading here in western Ottawa County, rather. That's indicating some hail, and we have had some reports of some pea-sized hail, but we could be dealing with some even larger hail. So right now, a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the next 32 minutes. That was set to expire here at 8:45. So we have the severe thunderstorm warning that covers portions of Ottawa and Kent County. 1-inch diameter hail is possible with this storm. We're only looking at about 50-mile-per-hour winds. So the main concern with this storm is that hail, that large hail that could be falling out of this cell here. So we're noticing that lighter shading here. Zoom in northeast of Port Sheldon. Also seeing quite a bit of lightning as well. So areas like Olive, just to the north of Olive, in between Olive and Robinson, can be dealing with some 1-inch diameter hail. This is going to be moving off to the north and the east. Right now, the severe thunderstorm is moving off to the north and the east at about 50 miles per hour. So I'll go ahead and put a tracker on that here very shortly for you. But quarter-sized hail possible with this cell that is moving through Ottawa County right now. And this is moving to the north and east, heading towards areas like Allendale and Grand Rapids. And if it holds its strength, it's going to continue moving even further east into Ionia County. So let's go ahead and zoom out here. And I'm going to put a quick tracker on this cell here. So right now, this is about where the hail would be, and it's moving to the north, or it's moving to the east rather, at about 50 miles per hour. So let's go ahead and put this at about 50 miles per hour and give you an idea of when this storm will be impacting certain locations. So you can see here, Georgetown around 8:28, Walker 8:34, Grand Rapids around 8:40 this evening, 8:44 in Plainfield, and then it would continue moving off to the east if it holds strength. So right now, the only active warning we have is severe thunderstorm warning in Ottawa and Kent County. This includes areas like Holland and also includes areas like Grand Rapids. So we'll be keeping a close eye on this cell. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this tracker real quick. I'm going to zoom back in so you can get an idea here of where that hail is falling. So right now, if there's hail falling, it would be just north of Olive. You can see this lighter shading here. That's indicative of some hail. Some folks asking about Holland. You'll notice another cell off to the west. This might be producing a little bit of hail, but right now my main concern is this cell right now, just northeast of Port Sheldon. That's moving off to the east at about 50 miles per hour. So just north of Olive, in between Olive and Robinson. If you're in the Allendale region, and points further to the east, just south of Walker into Grand Rapids, we could be looking at some quarter-sized hail with this cell. So we'll be watching this very closely. Right now, we don't have any other active warnings across West Michigan, but we are keeping an eye on some cells off to the southwest. So we'll notice some severe thunderstorm warnings right now across much of northern Illinois. And we also have a severe thunderstorm warning that earlier was producing 5-inch diameter hail in Kankakee, Illinois. That storm right now, tornado warned. Luckily, this looks to stay off to our south, but areas just south of South Bend could be dealing with that storm that's continuing to trek off to the east. The only active warning we have right now is Ottawa and Kent counties. That's where they're under a severe thunderstorm warning for some quarter-sized hail possible. So let's go ahead and look at those watches that are in effect. Oops, let's go ahead and switch back over to this, the correct banner here. So we are looking at some tornado watches and some severe thunderstorm watches across West Michigan. We'll notice the yellow shading, that's our tornado watch, and the pink shading is a severe thunderstorm watch. So you'll notice Berrien, Cass, St. Joseph, Branch counties, you're under a tornado watch. This means that conditions are ripe for the development of tornadoes. A watch, though, is just kind of be prepared, right? If a warning is issued, that's when we want to take immediate action. So right now, no immediate action needs to be taken across much of West Michigan. We do have that one lone severe thunderstorm warning in Ottawa and also in Kent County. So we have a severe thunderstorm watch for Muskegon, Ottawa, Allegan, Van Buren, Kalamazoo, Barrie, Kent, Montcalm, Ionia, and Eaton and Calhoun counties. That's where there's a severe thunderstorm watch until 1 o'clock this morning. The tornado watch goes until 2 o'clock. All right, so yes, the weather will be done in Holland tomorrow, Joanne. This is mainly just this evening between the hours of right now, pretty much until 2 a.m. Then we should start seeing that severe threat going down. We'll still be dealing with some rain, maybe even some thunderstorms tomorrow morning, but our severe threat, our severe window is mainly from right now until about 2 o'clock in the morning Wednesday. Storms hitting Kalamazoo, Jasmine. Yeah, so I am tracking some cells that are over Lake Michigan and also those cells that are over in northern Illinois right now. So right now, Kalamazoo, you know, we're probably good for the next hour or so, but we could see some more cells popping up after that. So just be prepared for storms this evening and into the overnight hours. Sturgis, you're clear right now, but you are under a tornado watch. So that means just be prepared, but no immediate action needed. If you hear any binging, we have a National Weather Service chat up, and there's just some communication going on there. Nothing too concerning for our region right now, but I'll, of course, let you know if that changes. So right now, the only active warning that we have is a severe thunderstorm warning for Ottawa and also for Kent counties. I'll go ahead and zoom in here. Some hail falling right now. That's at least what's showing up on radar. That's moving into the Allendale area. So if you're in the Allendale area, if you're on M45, anywhere from Lake Michigan all the way to Allendale, right now we could be seeing some severe thunderstorm or some severe hail right now, quarter-inch sized hail. So they did just issue a new severe thunderstorm warning. All right, so it looks like they updated one severe thunderstorm warning and also issued a new severe thunderstorm warning. So both of these cells are capable of producing some quarter-sized hail. So basically what the National Weather Service just did is you see this cell right now that is moving onshore. It's about to move onshore. So we have a cell right now over Lake Michigan. It's going to be moving into the Holland area. They just issued a severe thunderstorm warning for that particular cell. That's also capable of producing some quarter-sized hail. So that now includes you in Holland, and we could be dealing with another round in areas just south of Port Sheldon. So anywhere between Holland and Port Sheldon, we're now looking at this new storm that's coming offshore from Lake Michigan and moving on to land. So that's going to be affecting portions of Ottawa County and also very northwestern Allegan County as that cell begins to move over land. So we also have that severe thunderstorm warning right now. That cell that's just about to move into the Allendale region, that could be producing some quarter-sized hail. That's going to be moving off to the east at about 50 miles per hour. So I'm getting some reports here from the National Weather Service, some storm spotters in Ottawa County, and quarter-inch to half-size hail reported from a trained spotter. So we have reports now of quarter-sized hail. That is at the Ottawa County Administration Building. I'm going to go ahead and look up where exactly that is. Hold on, bear with me 1 second. The Ottawa County Administration Building is where that hail is coming down right now. They have quarter-sized hail reported there. So that is located, that looks like it's located just east of West Olive, just south of Robinson. So that's where they're locating some quarter-sized hail, which makes sense because I'll zoom in here and that's exactly that hail core that I was looking at. It looks like it's right over it right now, just south of Robinson, somewhere along M45. Looks like they have reported hail of a quarter-inch size. So that is severe hail. That could certainly do some damage to cars. So right now that is over M45, just south of Robinson, in the Robinson area, really moving into the Allendale area. And this cell is going to continue moving off to the east at about 50 miles per hour. This is headed right towards downtown Grand Rapids. I'm going to go ahead and lay another storm track here to give you the best idea of when this storm will impact your location. So it's moving in this direction at about 50 miles per hour. So Walker, 836, Grand Rapids, right around 840. Plainfield, 845 or so. And that's going to continue moving off to the east. So if you're in the path of that storm right now, if you're in that severe thunderstorm warning, we could be dealing with some quarter-size hail. You know, this is all north of our warm front. So this is all going to be hail related, okay? Where I'm worried about tornadoes, wind, and hail, that's going to be mainly south of our warm front, which right now is right around I-94. It's a little south of 94, but it could start to creep a little further north as we progress throughout the evening. Otherwise, most of West Michigan, the biggest threat is going to be hail, such as what we're seeing right now in portions of Ottawa and Kent counties, including the city of Grand Rapids. So right now, 2 active severe thunderstorm warnings, but they're kind of right over each other in Ottawa and Kent counties. If you're not in Ottawa County, if you're not in Kent County, you're not under an active warning right now. So I'll go ahead and zoom out here and just show you. I know some people asking about numerous different cities across West Michigan. You're fine right now. So we are not dealing with anything right now unless you are in Ottawa or in Kent County. So I'm going to focus on Ottawa and Kent County because they're the folks that are dealing with thunderstorms right now. The rest of you, you're good right now. There's no immediate concerns. But we do have 2 cells right now, one moving into the Allendale area and one moving into the Holland area. This cell right now is right about to move into the Holland region. And you'll notice that whiter shading or that light blue shading developing, that is indicating that we have some hail. All right, so going to be dealing with some hail in the Holland area here as this cell moves from over Lake Michigan onto land here over the next few minutes. So I know a lot of people asking about, what about Kalamazoo? What about White Pigeon? What about Portage? What about Marshall? If you're not in Ottawa County, if you're not in Kent County, there's nothing to worry about right now. You're under a tornado or severe thunderstorm watch. That means that conditions are favorable for that, but you're not under any warnings. You don't need to be doing anything right now. Right now, it's just Ottawa and it's Kent County that is the concern. So we are dealing with a hail core right now moving into the Holland area. And we also have a hail core right now in the Allendale area. Those are going to be moving off to the east. I'll go ahead and just check into the National Weather Service chat right now. Okay, so measured penny-sized hail falling near Grand Rapids already. Okay, so we have some hail as well already being reported in Grand Rapids. This is going to continue moving off to the east. So if you're in that severe thunderstorm warning right now, we have quarter-sized and penny-sized hail that's being reported. Also some penny-sized hail in downtown. So we're going to be watching for that hail threat continuing in Ottawa and Kent County. And that's going to continue moving off to the east at about 50 miles per hour. So I'm going to zoom out here and just kind of show you that this is the only cell we're tracking. Okay, so everywhere else, we're fine. There's nothing to worry about. It's just in Ottawa and Kent County, Grand Rapids, Holland. You're going to be dealing with some hail and some heavy rain here over the course of the next few minutes, the next 30 minutes or so until that warning expires. So right now, the warning's set to expire at 8:45. They may have to extend that further off to the east, and that'll continue to be the case throughout the night. We're going to see storms moving from west to east, and that's going to be the threat here. So right now, we have a severe thunderstorm watch for most of West Michigan. That's Van Buren, Kalamazoo, Calhoun, Eaton, Barry, Allegan, Ottawa, Kent, Ionia, Montcalm, and Muskegon County. They are under a severe thunderstorm watch. So that means that you are needing to have a plan in place, right? There's nothing going on right now, but we have the ingredients in place for severe thunderstorms to develop. Barry and Cass, St. Joseph, and Branch counties, you're under a tornado watch. So that means that there's conditions favorable for the development of tornadoes, and we could be seeing some cells moving in a little later. The tornado watch goes until 2 o'clock in the morning. The severe thunderstorm watch goes until 1 o'clock in the morning. That severe thunderstorm watch is in the pink shading. The tornado watch is in the yellow shading. All right, Ashley. No, right now this is pretty solid. So basically, south of the warm front is where we have the chance for tornadoes. If you're north of the warm front, the only concern is hail. And that's what we're seeing right now in Ottawa and Kent counties. So that's why they have this tornado watch across our southern row of counties that are bordering the Indiana line right now. That goes until 2 o'clock this morning. That's where I'm the most concerned about tornadoes. Maybe it squeezes into southern Van Buren, southern Kalamazoo and Calhoun counties, but right now that warm front is kind of right on the border of Cass and Van Buren County, St. Joseph and Kalamazoo County, and Calhoun and Branch County. So the greatest concern is south of the warm front for rotating storms. So we do have that tornado watch right now for Berrien, Cass, St. Joseph, and Branch. More of a severe weather threat as of now for the rest of West Michigan that is currently north of that warm front. So I'm going to go ahead and switch back over to radar. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning right now for Ottawa and Kent counties. That goes until 8:45 o'clock this evening. The main threat there is hail, 1-inch diameter hail, which is about quarter-sized hail. We have had some reports of quarter-sized hail already in portions of western Ottawa County. So also a report of quarter-sized hail being now reported in Grand Rapids as well. So we'll go ahead and zoom in on that. And you'll notice a little hail core developing here right over downtown Grand Rapids. This is going to continue moving off to the east. So if you're at the Grand Rapids, the Gerald Ford International Airport, this is kind of moving off in that general direction, probably to the north of the airport here, Eastmont, and continuing moving off to the east in portions of eastern Kent County. That's where you're under a severe thunderstorm watch for the next 15 minutes or so. We also have another cell producing a little bit of hail right over Allendale right now. And then another cell that's about to move from Lake Michigan onto land that could impact portions of the Holland area. And that cell looks to continue off to the north and the east. That one also moving at about 50 miles per hour. So we're going to be tracking these storms. I'll zoom out here, showing you that there's no other storms that we are tracking. So right now, the only immediate concern is Ottawa and Kent counties. Angie asking about anything to worry about in Kalamazoo. You're under a watch. That means we could be dealing with storms later. But right now, the only people that need to be taking immediate action are in Ottawa County and Kent County. So that's where I'm going to be focusing my time right now, just due to the fact that we are dealing with some thunderstorms right now in those locations and not anywhere else. All right. So we are watching some other cells that are developing over northern Illinois right now. We also have a tornado warning that is in northern Indiana. And that looks to be moving off to the east. So this is not going to affect us here in West Michigan, this particular cell. But if you do have any friends or family down in northwestern Indiana, they are under a tornado warning right now. This cell has a history of producing a tornado and looks to continue moving off to the east. This will be well south of South Bend, but headed towards Wheatfield and then eventually moving off to the east into the California area. But right now in West Michigan, unless you're in Ottawa or Kent County, there is no cells we are tracking right now. But we do have an active severe thunderstorm warning in Ottawa County and Kent County as well. Both of these storms taking aim, one in Holland, one taking aim at Grand Rapids. So those are the current locations that are under those warnings and could be dealing with some quarter-inch sized hail over the course of the next 15 minutes or so. Ashley asking where that warm front is located. Right on the border of our southern rural counties is Berrien, Cass, St. Joseph, and Branch counties. And then the row above that is Van Buren, Kalamazoo, and Calhoun counties. It's kind of straddling that border, okay? So just south of the Van Buren, Kalamazoo, and Calhoun County line. This front is expected to move a little further north as the evening progresses. South of that warm front is where we're going to see rotation. That's where we could be dealing with some tornadoes. North of the front, it's all going to be a hail threat. And we could see some large hail. There has been some storms over in the Chicago area, northern Illinois, where we've seen 4-inch to 5-inch diameter hail, which is just gigantic hail. But right now, the largest hail I've seen is quarter-sized hail, which is 1 inch in diameter, that being reported in Ottawa County. So areas like Grand Rapids, areas like Holland, you're under the gun, could be dealing with some quarter-inch sized hail as these storms progress through the area. No, tomorrow we are all good. The severe threat ends after 2 o'clock this morning, Colton. Tomorrow is just some rain maybe a few rumbles of thunder, but we are not expecting any severe weather tomorrow. Cass asking, will the big lake help reduce the impact later tonight? It's possible, Cass. The lake is actually cooling areas around the lake down. So there's still that threat for some large hail, but the damaging wind threat and the tornado threat is significantly lower, all thanks to that cold temperature, that cold water temperature that Lake Michigan is producing. Connie saying hail in Grand Rapids. Thank you for that report, Connie. Barbie, very welcome. So right now, the only storms I'm tracking are in Ottawa County and Kent County. The two hail cores right now are just west of Holland and just east of Grand Rapids. Those are the two areas where I'm seeing hail at least showing up on radar. Connie once again saying hail in downtown Grand Rapids. So these reports very helpful. Thank you so much. If you are seeing hail at your location, just give me a little comment there and let me know where you're seeing that hail and about what size it is as well. All right, so those are the only two storms that I'm currently tracking in West Michigan. Everywhere else, you'll notice radar very quiet, right? We don't have any active warnings except for in Ottawa and Kent counties. So we are going to be seeing additional cells popping up throughout the evening hours. So from now all the way until 2 a.m., we'll have to stay on guard. North of 94, the main threat is going to be large hail. South of I-94, the main threat includes everything: large hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes. So if you're in that area, if you're in Berrien, if you're in Cass, St. Joseph, Branch, and really even southern Van Buren, southern Kalamazoo, southern Calhoun counties, that's where we have that threat for all hazards. That's where we have the threat for some rotating storms, which include tornadoes. That's where we have the threat for hail, and we have the threat for damaging winds. Everyone else, northern Van Buren, northern Kalamazoo, northern Calhoun County, Allegan, Barrie, Eaton, Ionia, Kent, Ottawa, Muskegon, we're just going to be dealing with some large hail with these storms because we are north of the warm front and there's not enough rotation for those storms to produce a tornado. Okay, so we're going to be tracking that warm front, Keith and I, and that's going to be key to where we could see tornadoes versus where we're going to see the large hail threat. So right now, north of 94, large hail, south of 94, all hazards. We're going to see and watch for these storms to develop over the next few hours, and we're going to be tracking those very carefully. Now, right now, I'm on Facebook and YouTube. If there is a tornado warning issued, I'm going to switch this over to our programming on air, and me and Keith will be there bringing you the very latest. So that's just a little programming note for you. Yeah, so basically anywhere in West Michigan, we're going to see cells popping up, right? So a lot of people asking, what time? It's not necessarily easy to pinpoint exactly what time, right? We just need to be prepared between now and 2 o'clock this morning. It does look like around midnight, we could have a greater coverage of storms. And by that point, I think the main concern would be some large hail, unless you're south of I-94, and we could be dealing with some rotating storms, potentially some isolated tornadoes as well. But let's go ahead and zoom back into the Ottawa and Kent County storms that I'm tracking right now. These are both producing some quarter-sized hail. They both have a history of reporting some quarter-sized hail. Ashley, that's a good question. Yeah, we do lose instability as the night progresses. It's getting colder because you're north of the warm front. So you were south of the warm front earlier, but as that front sags south, now we have these northerly winds bringing some colder air in, right? We are going to be dealing with this warm front lifting back to the north. And so you may actually feel a surge of warmer air moving back into the area like Kalamazoo, okay? It all depends on where this warm front ends up lifting, how far north this warm front ends up lifting. And that probably wouldn't happen until about 10 o'clock this evening. Okay, so having some reports of giant hail in Grand Rapids blocking the roads. Stephanie, thank you so much for that report. Let's go ahead and see if we can't take a look at our Grand Rapids camera. I am concerned, though, that I might not be able to switch it over to Grand Rapids from here. I just have the Kalamazoo and Battle Creek camera in here. Let's see. This might not be Grand Rapids. Bear with me here. Let's see what this is. Okay, this is South Haven. So unfortunately, oh wait, I can switch it right here. Hold on. So this is our Okay, 1 second here. Bear with me. I'm going to try to switch this over to our Grand Rapids camera. Video input 2. Talking out loud here. And let's switch it over to here. All right. I do not know why this is switching. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to show you that look in Grand Rapids right now, but we do have several reports of large hail in downtown Grand Rapids. So please be careful if you're going to be around that area. All right. Trying to read through all these comments as best I can. Hail and heavy rain in Holland right now. So thank you for that report. That's good to know. So we do have hail now that's moving in from that storm that was over Lake Michigan, now moving onto land, and that's going to continue moving off to the north and the east. So let me go ahead and switch back over here to radar, and we'll go ahead and show you what we're talking about. So if you're in Ottawa or Kent County right now, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning that's set to expire here very shortly. The one in Holland, that one goes until 9 o'clock. The one in Grand Rapids goes until 8:45, but we'll wait on the National Weather Service to see if they extend this warning. I'm assuming they will probably extend it east into portions of Ionia County here, with all those reports of hail coming in from Grand Rapids. So hail is going to be our main concern for anyone under the severe thunderstorm watch. We could be dealing with some tornadoes south of 94, though. That would be a little later tonight, especially around midnight. That's when I think our tornado threat rises for those south of 94. The rest of us north of 94, the threat is going to be large hail anywhere between now and 2 o'clock in the morning. We'll have to be on guard for that. So we still have this severe thunderstorm warning. I'm going to go ahead and just read some comments over in the National Weather Service chat just to make sure that I'm not missing anything. We did have some half-inch hail being reported in Ottawa County. We also have quarter-sized hail in Cottonwood, pea-sized hail in Baldwin. Let's see if I'm missing anything else. Penny-sized hail in Grand Rapids. So just something we're continuing to watch. I'll be looking through here for any updates for hail reports. And I will bring you the very latest. So bear with me here if I'm taking some long pauses, just trying to read these reports coming in from these severe thunderstorms. But right now, the only area that we're actively tracking is Ottawa and Kent County. Let's go ahead and switch back over here. So we did have a hail core just east of Holland. That looks to be moving into the Holland area. Had a report here that hail is coming down in Holland now. So it's good to see those reports coming in. This storm is continuing to move off to the north and the east. It is moving at 50 miles per hour and has a history of producing some quarter-sized hail. So next up in line, let me go ahead and zoom out here and give you a little idea of when you'll be impacted by this particular storm. So right now it's over the Holland area. This is moving off to the northeast at about 50 miles per hour. And I'll lay this down. So Zeeland, you're pretty soon. Georgetown around 9 o'clock. And then if this storm holds its strength, yeah, Wyoming, Grand Rapids, you could be dealing with another cell producing some more hail. So we could see repeated rounds of thunderstorms throughout the overnight hours. And also another concern is going to be some flooding. Where we see those training storms, we could be dealing with some localized flooding issues, especially in those urban low-lying areas. But for the most part, hail, in terms of severe weather, hail is the greatest threat for most of us. And then I am going to be keeping my eye on the potential for some rotating storms or some tornadoes for areas south of 94. So that's kind of what we're dealing with here. I'll go ahead and switch back over to our watches. We do have an active severe thunderstorm watch for most of West Michigan. That's in this pink shading here. And we have an active tornado watch that's in the yellow shading. Remember, watches just mean that we have the ingredients possible for tornadoes or severe thunderstorms, but we don't see anything happening yet. So a warning is when you want to take action. A watch just means be prepared. So right now, unless you're in Ottawa or unless you're in Kent County, you just need to be prepared. Okay, so we're not really dealing with anything immediate. Let's go ahead and show you the latest hour by hour. So, we're going to see these cells kind of blossoming throughout the evening hours. You'll notice some more cells continuing to move in from the south and the west. Those red showing some heavy rain, potentially some hail, right? So the concern north of 94 is going to be large hail. The concern south of 94 could be hail, high winds, or the threat for some tornadoes. And that's why they're under a tornado watch. We could also be dealing with some very heavy rain as these cells continue to move through. So here's a look at 11:30, 11:45. Notice how we could have some repeated rounds of storms. Here's a look at about 1 o'clock in the morning, 1:30, 2 o'clock. These storms are continuing to move off to the east. And then by around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, we should be clear of any severe weather, just dealing with some rain, okay, tomorrow morning. So the time frame that we need to watch out for is going to be between the hours of now and 2 o'clock in the morning. Large hail north of I-94 and the potential for all severe threats south of I-94, including tornadoes, large hail, and also the threat for some damaging winds. It's all thanks to a warm front. Let's go ahead and look at those current temperatures and I'll explain what I'm talking about here. So notice in Coldwater, in Sturgis, it's 66 degrees right now. Three Rivers, it's 68, okay? They're south of the warm front. That's where we could have some more shear, some more rotation, and the potential for tornadoes, hail, or damaging winds. Grand Rapids, 39 degrees right now, and you're getting large hail, okay? So these storms go really far up into the atmosphere, and that's why they're producing some large hail right now. So anywhere north of that warm front, so areas like Allegan, Hastings, Holland, Grand Rapids, Ionia, those areas that it's cooler right now, your main concern is going to be large hail with any storms that do end up forming. Anywhere south of 94, though, that's when we could be dealing with the threat for all modes of severe weather, including the threat for some tornadoes. So just something we'll be watching as storms pop up. People are asking about exact timing. With this kind of scenario, you're not going to get an exact time that storms are going to hit until they've already formed, right? We need to watch those storms form before we can give you a time estimate of when they're going to hit your location. Right now, the only storms we can do that with are Ottawa and Kent counties. Holland having some reports of hail falling. Grand Rapids also hearing about some hail that was falling minutes ago, and also now moving off to the east. So this is going to be impacting eastern Kent County. We could be seeing some quarter-sized hail. If this storm continues to hold its strength, Ionia County, you're next in line for seeing some quarter-sized hail. So the latest from the National Weather Service, they've gone ahead and let that severe thunderstorm warning expire. So you'll notice that just disappeared from our radar here, just east of Grand Rapids. I would not be surprised if they issue another warning if this cell decides to resurge, but cores right now have come down a bit. So the National Weather Service is opting to not continue this severe thunderstorm warning. So now we are just watching this one particular cell that's in the area of Holland. It's going to continue moving off to the north and the east. And it is producing some quarter-sized hail right now, or at least was reporting some quarter-sized hail just moments ago. There also is a flood advisory for Kent and Ottawa County. They've had quite a bit of rain, so just be on the lookout for some minor flooding in low-lying and poor drainage areas. That flood advisory goes until 2:45 this morning. So right now, the only active warnings and advisories, a flood advisory for Ottawa and Kent County, and a severe thunderstorm warning for Ottawa County, including the city of Holland. A lot of people are asking about particular cities. There's no immediate concern in any city right now unless you're in Ottawa County. We could be dealing with some severe thunderstorms later on into the evening hours, anywhere between now and 2 o'clock in the morning. So some pea-sized hail right now falling in the area of Holland and Zeeland. So that's something that we'll be watching here as this storm progresses off to the north and the east. That is the only active severe thunderstorm warning in West Michigan, and that is set to expire at 9 o'clock. There is some quarter-sized hail possible with that storm right now in Ottawa County. So once again, zooming out, No cells right now over West Michigan. We are just dealing with that one cell is over Ottawa County right now, but otherwise there's no other active severe thunderstorm warnings. So we're just going to have to watch for storm initiation. You'll notice some more storms if we move off to the west here over portions of northern Illinois, and then one kind of isolated supercell over northern Indiana. So that's going to stay off to our south. Luckily, that cell is going to stay off to the south because it was producing some tornadoes earlier in eastern Illinois, and it's going to stay off to our south, only affecting northern Indiana. But we will watch for some additional cells. You'll notice a few more thunderstorms popping up over Lake Michigan, right? These are going to continue moving off to the east, and those could end up becoming stronger, potentially severe as they move on to land. So just something we'll be watching, but no one should be worried right now. There's no immediate action that needs to be taken except for Ottawa County. You're under that severe thunderstorm warning for the next 10 to 12 minutes. Quarter-size hail possible. So that's the only active warning we have. We do have some watches, though. I'll go back over that. We have a tornado watch for our southern row of counties. So that would be Berrien County, Cass County, St. Joseph County, and Branch County. You're under a tornado watch. So the difference between a watch and a warning, watch means we have the ingredients in place for something to happen, but nothing's happened yet, right? We just need to be weather aware and keep that in mind. The tornado watch is in effect until 2 o'clock this morning, 2 o'clock Wednesday morning, I should say. The severe thunderstorm watch for the majority of the rest of West Michigan, that includes Kalamazoo County, Calhoun County, Van Buren County, and areas further off to the north. That's shaded in pink. You're under a severe thunderstorm watch until 1 o'clock in the morning. So the threat there is mainly for large hail. So between now and 2 o'clock in the morning, if you're under the severe thunderstorm watch, your main threat is going to be large hail with those storms that end up developing. If you're in the tornado watch, we have a concern for all hazards, right? We have a concern for a large hail, we have the concern for tornadoes, and we also have the concern for damaging wind gusts. So that's going to be something we watch for some storms to form over Lake Michigan. They're forming over northern Illinois right now. These are moving off to the north and the east, and will be impacting West Michigan here between now and 2 in the morning. And then that severe threat really diminishes once we get into around the 3 o'clock hour. That's when I think most of this activity will be moving off to the east. So let's go ahead and look at the latest on where our warm front is located. If you're just now tuning in, we've been watching the warm front very closely. So you'll see in Three Rivers, it's still 68 degrees. It's 66 in Sturgis and Coldwater, Kalamazoo in the 50s. So that warm front kind of right over I-94. To the north, it's much colder, right? And that's why we have the threat for some hail there, but not tornadoes. We don't have enough moisture. We don't have enough energy or rotation for tornadoes to form north of the warm front. So in areas like Grand Rapids and Holland and Allegan, you know, that main threat is large hail. Anywhere north of 94, the greatest threat is large hail. It's south of 94, that's where I'm concerned about the potential for some tornadoes, the potential for some damaging winds, and the potential for some hail. So let's go ahead and break down this risk for you. Find where you are on the map. You'll see some cities located. So notice the threat for damaging winds is pretty low, slightly elevated risk south of I-96. The threat for large hail, that's our biggest concern. So large hail is possible pretty much anywhere in West Michigan. And we've already had some reports in Illinois of 3-inch diameter hail. That is some very large hailstones that could certainly do a lot of damage. And that's why you see those black hash marks indicating the potential for some significant hail throughout much of West Michigan with any thunderstorms that develop. But you'll notice that tornado threat is really only south of I-94. So you kind of see that coloring south of 94 under the tornado category. That's where I'm watching the potential for some rotating storms, especially as we progress throughout the evening hours. Around midnight, I think would be the greatest chance to see that. But we really have to be on the watch anywhere between now and 2 o'clock in the morning for the potential for some rotating storms, okay, south of I-94. The rest of you north of 94, just concerned about large hail. That's the main threat with these storms if you're north of I-94. So any of these cities, a lot of people listing out cities. Hear me out. Are you north of I-94 or are you south of I-94? That should answer your question. If you're north of 94, large hail. If you're south of I-94, you could see some isolated tornadoes, large hail, or damaging winds. All right, let's go ahead and switch back to radar and take a look at our active severe thunderstorm warning that is currently moving through Ottawa County. So right now, no one is under a warning. No one has to take immediate action in West Michigan unless you are in Ottawa County. They are under a severe thunderstorm warning. There is reports of quarter-sized hail falling from this storm. So we'll notice if we zoom in, let's go ahead and pause it so we can get a good look at the current situation. Okay, so we can see this little lighter shading here. You see that north of Holland? That's hail falling. So we have some hail that radar is indicating falling just north of Holland right now. And this is going to be moving off to the north and the east at about 50 miles per hour. All right, we are also watching another cell that looks to be strengthening just a bit. We could be dealing with another severe thunderstorm warning here, according to the National Weather Service. I'm going to go ahead and take a quick look over at that. They're drawing up a new warning right now into Kent County for this current cell that is moving north of Holland. So that is moving in the direction of Grand Rapids. So you're probably going to see another severe thunderstorm warning issued for Kent County here. That's all due to this storm right now that is moving through Ottawa County. I'm also seeing, okay, so other people are just talking about Indiana right now. You might hear some dinging a lot in the background. Every ding you hear is a new message coming in from storm spotters with the National Weather Service. So when I hear those, I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything important, and that's why I might get a little distracted here. But let's go ahead and go back to radar. And we're seeing this, this is a pretty decent hail core right now. That's right north of Holland. Let's zoom in even further and kind of give you an even better idea. So if you're in Harlem, if you're in Beaverdam, if you're anywhere just north of I-196 rather, you could be dealing with some hail in the Zeeland area. This is going to be moving off to the north and the east. So we'll likely see a new severe thunderstorm warning here shortly from the National Weather Service. I'll go ahead and lay a storm tracker on here, kind of give you an idea of when this storm could impact your area. All right, so Georgetown, around 9:10, could be dealing with some quarter-sized hail. Walker, 9:15 or so. Grand Rapids, shortly after that, around 9:20, you could be dealing with some quarter-sized hail. So we'll see how long this storm holds its strength, if it weakens or if it strengthens. And this is going to be moving off to the north and the east. So we'll watch this cell very carefully. I'll go ahead and erase this tracker here for you. But this is the only severe thunderstorm warning right now in West Michigan, which is in Ottawa County. So areas like Hudsonville, areas like Allendale, areas like Zeeland, you are under the severe thunderstorm warning. It is set to expire here very shortly, but the National Weather Service is going to be extending this warning further off to the north and the east, including areas like Wyoming and Grand Rapids as well. We are watching some additional cells that are forming over Lake Michigan right now. So we'll watch those and watch their progress as they continue to move off to the north and the east. But you'll notice very quiet across the southern portion of our viewing area. Nothing going on in Allegan County, Berry County, Eaton, Calhoun, Kalamazoo, Van Buren, Berry and Cass, St. Joseph, Branch counties. All is quiet right now. We are under a watch, so we will have to watch out for the potential for some severe thunderstorms later on. But right now, all is quiet. There's no immediate emergency. You don't have to take any immediate action right now. Some folks commenting about Indiana, and yes, there is a nasty cell in northern Indiana right now. This is producing a tornado, some massive hail. So if you have any family or friends in this area around Wheatfield, around the California area, North Judson, give them a call, give them a text, and let them know that there is a very dangerous storm heading to their area. They're under a tornado warning at the current moment. But you'll notice that's well south of the Michigan line. Okay, that's going to stay in Indiana. We have no concerns right now from that particular cell. What we're worried about is all these storms right now in northern Illinois that are going to be moving off to the north and the east, and those could impact us here in West Michigan later. Okay, those probably wouldn't arrive until around 11 o'clock this evening. So let's go ahead and look at hour by hour if you're just now tuning in, so you can kind of get an idea of when we could be seeing some storms in your area. I do want to say this is just one model. This is just one run of one model. Don't take this too literally. I think people get caught up in exactly when that red dot appears over their city. This is just a simulation of what could happen, right? This is not saying exactly what's going to happen. We just want to look at the general picture of things. So notice around 10:30, we see that greater coverage in storms. We could be dealing with some large hail in some of these storms that are showing up, and maybe even some damaging winds or some rotating storms south of I-94. This will continue to move off to the east, and we could see some numerous rounds of thunderstorms throughout the overnight hours. So this is just a estimate of what 1 o'clock in the morning could look like. Notice we're dealing with more storms across much of West Michigan, producing some heavy rain, potentially some large hail north of I-94, maybe even an isolated tornado south of I-94, some large hail, some gusty winds. I'm going to go ahead and show you our risk breakdown because this is really important. Everyone has the chance at seeing some large hail from any of these storms that develop. But really the greatest tornado threat is going to be south of I-94. That's where we have some more rotation. That's where we have those warmer temperatures right now. That's south of the warm front. That's where they have the tornado watch in effect for Berry and Cass, St. Joseph, and Branch counties. Okay, that's where our tornado threat is. Everyone else, the main threat is large hail, but we could see some isolated instances of damaging winds for the rest of West Michigan. So we're just going to be keeping an eye on that. We do have a new update with our storm in Ottawa County right now. Let's switch you back over to Doppler radar here so we can go ahead and talk about that. Severe thunderstorm warning now issued for Ottawa and Kent counties. This goes for the next hour. It's a long one. It doesn't expire until 10 o'clock. It is moving off to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour. This storm is capable of producing quarter-sized hail. So if you're in the area of Grand Rapids, this now is aimed at your direction. So we'll want to be prepared for some quarter-sized hail. Right now, that hail core is moving northeast to Holland. It's just north of Zeeland right now. You'll note that radar is usually a few minutes behind. So this may be a little further than what we're seeing here on radar. But certainly some hail with this storm. There's no doubt about that this storm is producing some quarter-sized hail right now. Just moved over US 31, and it's moving off to the northeast. So if you're in the area of US 31, if you're east of US 31, and you're in Ottawa County, north of Zeeland, and between Olive and Zeeland, and further at points further off to the north and the east, be prepared for some large hail. In and around the Beaver Dam area, eventually moving into the Georgetown area, the Blendon area. You are all about to be under the gun here over the next few minutes for some large hail. So just be aware of that. You know, there's not the threat for damaging winds in this particular storm, and there's not the threat for tornadoes either. The real threat here in Ottawa and Kent counties is that large hail, where we could see quarter-inch sized hail with this particular cell. The rest of us right now, there are no active warnings other than Ottawa and Kent County. So you'll notice radar very quiet across the rest of West Michigan. Excuse me, my throat's starting to get a little dry. But we'll go ahead and keep an eye on this storm that right now is moving through Ottawa and Kent counties. All right, so that was just a little update with the cell down in Indiana. Okay, they're seeing 2.5-inch diameter hail right now in northern Indiana. Oh man, Luckily, that storm is going to stay south of our area. So we are not going to be dealing with that, thankfully. But if you know anyone east of Wheatfield, give them a call, give them a text. They're dealing with a nasty storm down there. For us, the only severe thunderstorm we're tracking is northeast of Holland, portions of Ottawa and Kent County. Look at all that lightning developing as well. That's a sign that this storm is strengthening. And we'll notice that that hail core still holding strong. Let's zoom in here and see if we can't get a better look at some of these roads. So if you're on Port Sheldon Street, west of Hudsonville, if you're on some of these other roads like what is that, 48th Avenue, between M121 and Allendale, you could be dealing with some pretty significant hail here over the matter of minutes. I'll go ahead and zoom out here, lay another tracker down so you can get an idea of when this storm will be affecting your area. Let's see, moving to the northeast at 30 miles per hour. So it is slowing down a little bit. So I'm looking at Jenison around 9:15. You could be dealing with some quarter-sized hail. Georgetown here in the next few minutes, you could be dealing with some quarter-sized hail. Grand Rapids closer to 9:30. Comstock Park 9:33. Plainfield 9:40 or so. So we'll watch this storm as it moves off to the north and the east. As long as there's an active severe thunderstorm warning, I'm going to stay on this stream giving you guys the latest updates. Just looking at this storm on radar right now, does look to be strengthening a bit. So we'll keep an eye on this. There's no threat for tornadoes or damaging winds with this storm, but we could be dealing with some large hail, right? It's really heavy rain as well. In fact, speaking of heavy rain, I have been seeing some reports of some flooded roadways. While I have you guys here, I'll go ahead and read you some of those off. North River Avenue, Howard Avenue, and Holland Township, they are dealing with some flooding and reports from viewers saying that it's very deep flooding. Once again, North River Avenue and Howard Avenue dealing with some flooding that is ongoing there. So keep that in mind. Flooding is another concern with these cells as they trek through West Michigan, producing some very heavy rain and also some large hail. At quarter-sized hail is possible. All right. Quarter-sized hail, if you're wondering how large that hail could be. So that is meeting that severe criteria. We'll be keeping an eye on that. Let's see, just making sure I didn't get any email reports here. I'm also going to be checking our Chime In page to see if anyone sends in pictures of the hail, and I might be able to go ahead and share my screen and show you that. But right now, if you're in Ottawa County, if you're in Kent County, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning. That goes until 10 o'clock. The winds might pick up a little, but probably not going to do any damage. The main concern here is going to be the threat for some quarter-sized hail, some large hail with this storm as it moves off to the north and the east. So you're seeing that right now on your screen. Hudsonville, you're seeing the heavy rain. You're seeing a lot of lightning right now. And this is kind of trekking right along. It's kind of following I-196, right? The core of the storm is just north of 196. And that's going to continue moving off to the north and the east, heading right towards downtown Grand Rapids. So I know they already had some hail in Grand Rapids, but we could be dealing with some more hail as this next storm moves towards your area. All right, so no pictures of any hail on our Chime In page right now, but I'll keep an eye on that. We did a report of 1-inch diameter hail, and that was on I-96. I'm assuming they're talking about I-196. Or sorry, 96th Street near New Holland, 1-inch diameter hail. All right. So we'll be watching that cell carefully. It has had a history of producing some large hail, and we're going to continue watching this as it moves off to the north and the east. All right, let's go ahead and zoom out here, and I'll show you that the rest of West Michigan, not dealing with any active warnings, but we do have a very dangerous storm, a very violent storm right now that is east of Wheatfield. So you'll notice large hail, a tornado on the ground. They're under a tornado warning in northwest Indiana right now. And this is moving into the area of English Lake, California. They're under that tornado warning, but this is in northwest Indiana. Most of West Michigan is quiet at the moment. We are not seeing any cells over West Michigan except for Ottawa and Kent County. Right now, this particular cell is moving into the Hudsonville area. So we could be seeing some quarter-sized hail in Hudsonville very shortly. Keep that in mind. That is certainly enough to do some damage to your car, certainly creating some dents on your car. All right. I'm going to go ahead and just check what this latest message was on the National Weather Service chat. Report of street flooding in 40th and Baldwin. That is going to be in Ottawa County. So if you're familiar with the area around 40th and Baldwin, that road now having some reports of some flooding. Also hearing about flooding on North River Avenue and Howard Avenue in Howland Township. So we're going to be very mindful of that. Remember, turn around, don't drown if you do encounter a road that is flooded. You never know how deep that water actually is, and it doesn't take much water, flowing water, to take your car with it. So please make sure to not drive through any flooded roadways. Otherwise, large hail has been the main threat so far. So we are seeing that right now falling near Hudsonville. You'll see this lighter color, this kind of bluish, whitish color here. That is going to be where hail is falling, right? So moving into the Blendon area, just north of Beaver Dam, you could be dealing with some quarter-sized hail. Looks like Hudsonville. Moving into your area now, Georgetown, very shortly, could be seeing some hail, some quarter-inch sized hail is possible. All right, just trying to keep up with some of these comments. So yeah, the only tornadoes in Indiana right now. No tornadoes in West Michigan. We just have a severe thunderstorm warning that is producing some quarter-sized hail right now, and that's in the area of Hudsonville. So this is heading right towards downtown Grand Rapids. If you're in Wyoming, if you're in Grand Rapids, you're going to want to make sure to get inside, right? Because we could be seeing some quarter-sized hail here pretty shortly. Let me go ahead and lay down another track for you. This is moving off to the northeast at about 30 miles an hour or so. So we're looking at Georgetown. Here in the next 5 minutes or so, you could be seeing some quarter-sized hail. Grand Rapids, around 9:30, you could be dealing with some quarter-sized hail. Moving into the Plainfield area by 9:40, and that'll continue moving off to the north and the east if it holds its strength. So we'll be watching this one closely right now. This is the only active severe thunderstorm warning in West Michigan, is eastern Ottawa and Kent counties, including the city of Grand Rapids. All right. So a new report just coming in from the National Weather Service of quarter-inch sized hail. That was reported around 9:05 at Baldwin and 28th Street. Quarter-inch hail is falling in that location. So also in Hudsonville, reporting some quarter-sized hail as well, some half-inch sized hail. So we'll be watching that very closely. But obviously, this storm is producing hail right now, some large hail. And this is going to continue to be the case as it moves further off to the north and the east. It's moving at about 30 miles per hour off to the north and the east. So next city's up, Georgetown. That's Georgetown in eastern Ottawa County. You could be seeing some quarter-sized hail here very shortly. You want to make sure to get in a sturdy structure and prevent yourself from being impacted by that hail. So this is moving into the Hudsonville and Georgetown area right now. Granville, you're up next. This is going to be moving towards M11. So if you're on M11 anywhere from I-196 up to Walker. This is heading in your direction. You could be seeing some quarter-inch sized hail here very shortly. Standale, okay, quarter-sized hail moving in your direction. Also some very heavy rain. This cell has had the history of producing some flooding in the Holland area. And this is going to continue producing heavy rain and also some large hail as it moves into these areas in eastern Ottawa County and into western Kent County. So if you're on M45 as well, okay, you could be seeing some large hail right now in and around the Standale area. Anywhere from Allendale to Standale, could be seeing some hail already. This is going to continue moving off to the north and the east, closer to the city of Grand Rapids. This is the only active severe thunderstorm warning right now in West Michigan. We are tracking, some of you have been mentioning it in the comments though, about this tornado in northwest Indiana. You'll notice that this is kind of moving off to the east, right? Right now, it is not on track to impact us here in West Michigan. But they do have a large and dangerous tornado confirmed on the ground right now in northern Indiana, not in West Michigan, in northern Indiana. And this is in Stark and southwestern LaPorte counties in northern Indiana. There's a large and dangerous tornado that's confirmed on the ground there. So, you know, I'm going to just keep going down there, taking an eye on, or keeping an eye on things just in case you do have family in that area. But I want my main focus right now to be on West Michigan because, you know, that's where our viewers are, right? But look at all these storms that are blowing up in northern Illinois. This storm complex is moving in our direction. You'll notice some more storms, even into southeastern Wisconsin, moving over Lake Michigan. These are all heading in our direction. So right now, all is quiet in Allegan County, Barry County, Eaton County, and areas south, right? We haven't seen anything yet. Our threat rises here over the next few hours when that complex of storms in Illinois moves into West Michigan. That's when we could be dealing with some large hail and maybe even some tornadoes or damaging winds south of I-94. Jesse, no lightning in Vicksburg. The only warning is in Ottawa and Kent counties right now. That's the only active severe thunderstorm warning right now. So we do have a hail core right now in Blendon and Georgetown. And that's going to continue moving off to the northeast at 30 miles per hour. Eric, yes, but that tornado is going to stay in Indiana, so not impacting Michigan. Right now, the severe thunderstorm warning in West Michigan is for Ottawa and Kent County. This is moving towards the city of Grand Rapids. This is just north of I-196. So Georgetown, you're going to be dealing with some quarter-inch sized hail, and this is going to be moving into the Wyoming area, into the Grand Rapids area. Also going to be dealing with quite a bit of lightning and some heavy rain. Could lead to some flooding. So just something we're going to be keeping an eye on here as this storm moves further off to the north and the east. We do have some watches right now. Tornado watch in Berrien, Cass, St. Joseph, and Branch County. That goes until 2 o'clock this morning. So right now, there's no reason to take immediate action. But a watch means that we have the conditions favorable for tornadoes to develop later on into the evening hours and overnight. So that's something we'll want to be very careful about. If you are going to bed, you want to have multiple ways to receive alerts tonight. You know, have that phone ringer on, a no weather radio. Have multiple ways to get alerts to wake you up in case there is a tornado warning. That tornado watch, once again, for Berrien, Cass, St. Joseph, and Branch counties goes until 2 o'clock this morning. The rest of West Michigan, or at least where you see that shaded in pink, is under a severe thunderstorm watch. That goes until 1 o'clock this morning. Your main threat is going to be large hail from any severe thunderstorms that do develop. So yes, the tornado threat primarily south of 94. nothing that is an immediate worry right now in West Michigan. If you're in northern Indiana, that's a different story. But right now in West Michigan, there's no concern about any cells that are currently forming. Not to say we couldn't see a cell form later and produce some rotation and potentially an isolated tornado. But for now, there's no active warnings in West Michigan. There's no threat of this cell moving into Michigan either. Okay, this is down east of Wheatfield, Indiana. And this is moving off to the north and the east. So it should stay primarily south of the Indiana toll road there. Kristen, raining hard in Muskegon right now. Let's move off to the north. Yeah, so Muskegon starting to see some thunderstorms pushing into that area. No severe weather in Muskegon, but certainly seeing the rain, and it's coming down heavy. They have some lightning as well in that area. I am keeping an eye on this cell. You'll notice that just off land, a lot of hail right now. It looks like this is all being reported by radar. And we don't have any boaters out there, hopefully, that are able to give us actual reports. But this cell is moving to the northeast, so Grand Haven, areas north of Port Sheldon, US 31, near Grand Haven. You could be dealing with some large hail as this storm comes onto land. So just something to keep an eye on there. We also have some hail falling right now, quite a bit of lightning and some heavy rain in the Hudsonville area and just north of Hudsonville. Really between Hudsonville and Allendale is where we're seeing quite a bit of hail and some heavy rain. So Grand Rapids, you had some hail earlier. And this is going to be another storm that produces another round of some large hail, up to a 1/4 inch sized hail possible in Grand Rapids with this storm as it moves to the north and the east. We have had several reports of hail falling right now in portions of Ottawa County. Chief Meteorologist Keith Thompson joining us here in the digital studio. He's bored apparently.
Well, up there's not a lot going on.
He's going to come join us.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
Just for a little bit.
I can rest my voice for a second.
I know that you like talking constantly down here. So, we have the one active, I'll come in here so that we're like the voice.
Yeah, the ghost.
The ghost.
The ghost of News Channel 3.
So, right, we have the one active warning I know that you know about. I did see a 1 inch report of 1 inch hail, diameter hail, so in Olive Township. But other than that, looks like the winds are pretty meager.
Yes.
So that's good news. I've been watching the coverage from our sister station down in South Bend because there's a tremendous thunderstorm that's going right now well south of South Bend. I think it's going to stay well south of us, but watching it just...
So it looks like in Ottawa County on 120th and Riley, there's a water rescue happening right now. Victim states many cars in the neighborhood are partially underwater due to flooding. So that's going to be another concern with these training thunderstorms.
Well, exactly. And, I think that going into this day, we knew that flood watch went into effect at 8 o'clock, and that would be covering much of the area. Because, another threat from this storm is just waves of rain that are going to be coming over the same area, which is what, Colin was mentioning there when we're talking about training in particular, where it's like we have the thunderstorms developing and continuing to move right across the same area. And so flooding is going to be, I think, a situation area-wide. Right now, everything obviously is around I-196, I-96 north. But I do think, there's some pretty active storms going on right now in eastern Iowa and in Illinois. So we're, I think, a long way from being out of the woods with this line of thunderstorms here. And that one that you see there in northwest Indiana, I just saw some video that came out of Kankakee when it was there, and it did quite a bit of damage. And the reports that are coming from the National Weather Service here on this is calling it a large and powerful, verified, confirmed tornado. Yeah. And so, but it does look like it's going to continue to move off to the east, maybe a little east-northeast, but I think that it's going to be safely south of our Michigan-Indiana line, which, of course, we don't want anything bad to happen south of the border, but we're certainly going to keep an eye on it and hope that it stays south of that I-80-90 line. In fact, you can see right now it's still even well to the southwest of South Bend. So that's sort of what's going on right now. I know that Colin's got you all up to speed. So
yeah, so it sounds like we do have that severe thunderstorm warning still in Kent County, moving right towards downtown Grand Rapids. We could see some quarter-sized hail. So please get inside. We could be dealing with some, large hail moving into the Grand Rapids area. The National Weather Service also going to be issuing a flash flood warning for Ottawa and Kent County. We don't see flash flood warnings very often in West Michigan. So just to show how heavy this rain is, we do have some water rescues ongoing in portions of Ottawa County. So not only are we worried about this large hail, but we're worried about flooding as well, which is ongoing right now. Portions Ottawa, Kent County, seeing some flooding.
And a flash flood warning, by the way, is pretty much at the top of the flood chain, because that means that it is happening right now, that there was a flooding concern, a dangerous flooding concern, which, of course, as Colin mentioned, noted by the emergency management there, that there's a water rescue going on, some water rescues going on. That is the only thing that's going on right now around West Michigan with the storms, but I do think that we'll have some more action coming up a little bit later on.
Yeah. Definitely. We can go ahead and show hour by hour and kind of give people an idea of when we're looking at some storms. So let's go ahead and advance here to about 10 o'clock. We'll notice some more activity kind of forming over, oh my goodness, what's going on with my face in that picture? Kind of forming over the lake, and this moving into West Michigan. Most of the threat from these storms is going to be heavy rain, flooding, and also large hail. But in areas south of I-94, that's where there's still the concern for some rotation. We could potentially be dealing with all hazards. So gusty winds, large hail, even the threat for some isolated tornadoes as well.
Well, notice the temperature difference too. I was noticing, I think mid to upper 30s in Ionia County, I think 37, and then like 66 degrees or 65 degrees there in Sturgis. And so, we've been saying all day today that it's like where the warm sector is. So a 31-degree difference between Ionia and Sturgis, and Sturgis. If you're in the warm sector, right, that's where you are still going to need to be more concerned. We have those thunderstorms going on, for example, in GR right now, but at 39 degrees. But again, those are hail producers, and not big wind producers, because, by the way, that warmer air trying to move in along with those cells is having to ride up over the colder air. And so anything that's going on right now is elevated. Which is good news when it comes to any kind of surface-based winds or anything like that. Not so good news necessarily when it comes to large hail.
Yeah, certainly. And, that's going to be kind of our main concern here, I think, for most of the areas, that large hail threat. And that's why the National Weather Service went with that severe thunderstorm watch for areas along and north of I-94. But we do have that threat for some isolated tornadoes south of I-94, including Berrien, Cass, St. Joseph, and Branch counties. That's where they're under the tornado watch.
Well, and even right now, you see the temperature in Kalamazoo at 51, and it's 66 in Three Rivers. I mean, that is like 30 miles.
Yeah.
Not even 30 miles, to be honest, about 20 to 25 miles, and a 15-degree difference in temperature there. And then, of course, you go Kalamazoo to GR, you're talking about 40-ish miles, and another difference of 12 degrees. So I think it's we're watching those temperatures, because where it's still in the mid 60s, upper 60s, that's where we're really going to have to keep an eye on things.
Yeah. All right. So a new message coming in here from Kent County. 6 inches of standing water observed at Turner and 6th Street.
Scribner and Leonard.
Yeah, and Monroe and Leonard as well. So definitely seeing some more reports of some flooding ongoing there. They're going to be issuing a flash flood warning very shortly here for portions of Kent and Ottawa County. Oops, I don't know why. Oh, I guess I have to load this.
There we go. It got very dark.
There we go.
Yeah.
So we can see that right now, a severe thunderstorm warning as well for Kent County.
Which goes until 10 o'clock. And then, but again, it's, when Colin gets out wider, you can see that there is still so much more coming in.
Wow.
Wow.
2-inch sized hail being reported by a spotter at Baldwin and 28th.
So 28th Street, yeah, that is pretty good sized hail. And you got to remember with that could damage houses. I mean, it can certainly damage cars. And you don't want to be outside in that. That's large hail.
And that's the tornado warning down in northern Indiana.
Yeah. That cell.
It's a monster.
It is a monster. And, unfortunately, it got dark as that cell was moving into Indiana. And so, I don't know. I got to tell you, I have a bad feeling about that one because it was huge. And so just hoping for the best for the folks folks down there. I was watching again our sister station in South Bend covering that storm, watching that one, and that's pretty much the only cell that they have working right now. But it is a pretty large cell. So I don't know if it looks to me like well, I don't know. I was going to say it looks like to me like the signature is weakened a little bit, but maybe not.
Yeah.
I could have. That's probably not accurate.
Yeah, definitely some kind of rotation down there.
And it has been observed. That tornado has been observed. So
yeah, heading right towards Knox.
Yes. Yeah. So that could be a problem. All right. I'm going to thank you for letting me photobomb your Facebook, YouTube Live.
Anytime.
And I'm going to head back upstairs. I think, if we have anything that's new that comes out, we'll cut into our broadcast. Otherwise, our continuous coverage is here on YouTube and on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I'll probably take a picture of Colin so that I can post it.
So, just to kind of catch you guys up here, we still have a tornado watch for Southern County. So Berrien County, Cass County, St. Joseph County, and Branch County under that tornado watch. So that doesn't mean we need to be taking immediate action. That just means that we still have the ingredients that are possible for some tornadoes to form. And then also we have a severe thunderstorm watch for most of West Michigan in pink. And that's where we could be dealing with the threat for some large hail. Right now, we have some immediate issues going on moving into the city of Grand Rapids. Very large hail. We had a report from Ottawa County of 2-inch diameter hail, which is just massive hail that could really do a lot of damage. This is now moving over Georgetown into downtown Grand Rapids. Excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and see if anyone is sending any pictures into our Chime In page, because I would love to get a visual of that. Not seeing any pictures coming in of that hail right now, but certainly have some storm spotters that are reporting 2-inch diameter hail in portions of Ottawa County right now. So just something we'll be watching. But if you are just tuning in, we do have a active water rescue going on in Ottawa County. That is currently at 120th and Riley Street, where that water rescue is ongoing right now. Several cars partially underwater. We also have reports of street flooding on and also parts of Ottawa County and 120th Street and Riley. There's about 4 or 5 inches of water over there. Let's see. About 6 inches of standing water observed at Turner and 6th Street, Monroe and Leonard Street. There's also some reports of some more water at 28th and Baldwin Street. So the National Weather Service has issued a flash flood warning. So that's kind of the worst flood alert that you can get. So looks like they've had several inches of rain that have fallen in there. Numerous reports of road flooding in portions of Ottawa and Kent County where you've been dealing with these storms. More rain is expected throughout the next several hours, so expect some more flooding to occur. We currently have a few water rescues ongoing, so flooding is another major concern on top of the threat for some large hail for most of West Michigan. Right now, the place that's been under the gun has been Ottawa and Kent County, but we do have some more storms that are over Lake Michigan and also in northern Illinois right now, and this is going to be moving into our area. But our only active warning is a severe thunderstorm warning. Right now, it's moving into the city of Grand Rapids. You need to get inside, you need to get to a safe space because we're going to be looking at some very large hail, and we're also going to be dealing with some heavy rain, which has already led to some flooding, and that's going to continue here over the course of the next several minutes. So a flash flood warning that's been observed in Ottawa and Kent counties. They're under a flash flood warning until 3:30 this morning. There also is that severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect until 10 o'clock this evening for Kent County. Some ping pong ball-sized hail is possible with this storm, which is 1.5-inch diameter hail. So that is some serious hail. That is something you do not want to be messing around with. And right now it is headed for downtown Grand Rapids. So if you're in that area, if you're in Wyoming, if you're in Grand Rapids, if you know, you're in the immediate area of East Grand Rapids or Walker, you're probably going to be seeing some hail that's falling, potentially some flooding as well, and a lot of lightning. So you'll want to make sure to get inside and do a sturdy structure and stay safe from this storm as it continues to move off to the north and the east at about 30 miles per hour. Let me go ahead and put another tracker on this cell. Oops. All right, so we're looking at Oakfield, 1011, Greenville, 1018, or 1021 rather. And this storm will continue moving off to the north and the east. It hasn't been slowing down in terms of, it hasn't been weakening, I should say. It looks to be holding its strength. So if you're up the road from this storm, you're going to need to watch out for some large hail. No risk of tornadoes in Grand Rapids. Most of us will not see a risk of tornadoes tonight. That is going to be south of I-94 that we have the risk of tornadoes. Let me go ahead and erase this storm track. I will zoom out so you can go ahead and see the rest of the area. You'll notice just some generic thunderstorms right now, some non-severe thunderstorms that are moving through portions of western Ottawa, Muskegon, into Newaygo County. No reports of large hail in those areas, though, which is good news. The only active severe thunderstorm warning right now is over downtown Grand Rapids in West Michigan. They did update the tornado warning in northwest Indiana. You'll see this is all the way down in Knox, okay, just north of California. This is moving towards Plymouth and eventually moving towards German. So if you do have a friends or family down in northwest Indiana, you're going to want to give them a call. This is a very dangerous storm that is to the southwest of South Bend and looks to stay south of South Bend. Right now, it doesn't look like this will impact us here in Michigan, which is some great news because this has been a massive storm and continues to be as it moves, as it has moved from Illinois and is now in northwest Indiana. Look at all these storms in northern Illinois right now. A lot of lightning, some strong winds as well. Areas like Aurora, seeing some heavy rain, lots of lightning, some strong winds potentially as well. This is going to be moving to the east and is moving towards West Michigan. So later on, over the course of, the next 1.5 to 3 or 4 hours, this complex of storms will be moving into southwestern Michigan. That's when we'll have to watch out for some large hail. And sometimes we can get a little bit of rotation inside these storm complexes. The best chance for rotation or an isolated tornado is going to be in our Indiana bordering counties, Berry and Cass, St. Joseph, and Branch counties. The rest of us, our main threat tonight is going to be large hail. And everyone will also have to be on the lookout for some flooding as well. Okay, so right now, the only active severe thunderstorm warning we have is moving right into downtown Grand Rapids. Man, some ping pong ball sized hail possible in Grand Rapids right now. All right. So this is moving over Grand Rapids. This is continuing to move to the north and the east. It's going to be impacting I-96. Anywhere from the Ottawa-Kent County line all the way over to areas just south of Cascade. Okay, so this is where M6 kind of meets up with I-96. Anywhere between there and the Ottawa-Kent County line, just north of Walker, along I-96, could be dealing with some quarter-sized hail. So definitely would not want to be driving through that. That could produce quite a bit of damage. We also have a flash flood warning. I'm going to go ahead and read some more reports coming in here from the National Weather Service. Byron Center and Floyd in Wyoming, there is flooding ongoing over those locations, and also 10th and Taylor in Jenison. there was a ping pong ball sized hail in Jenison just a minute ago. So certainly something that could do a lot of damage. You're going to want to find a sturdy shelter, and it's been producing hail already, and that's going to continue to be the case here over the next few hours. Let's go back to radar here. Just keeping an eye on the National Weather Service chat, seeing if we're getting any more reports of some flooding or any hail reports that are coming into the National Weather Service. Looks like they have just updated the severe thunderstorm warning. Let me go ahead and read that update. Okay, so 60-mile-per-hour winds now. So these winds are picking up as well with this storm in Kent County. So, I think the bigger concern is going to be the hail. Golf ball size hail now is possible with this storm that is moving into Grand Rapids and moving through portions of Kent County. But also we could have some 60-mile-per-hour winds as well as this storm continues to move through that area. That is moving right now to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour. Locations include Grand Rapids, Walker, Wyoming, Kentwood, Granville, East Grand Rapids, the Gerald R. Ford International Airport, Cutlerville, Belmont, Comstock Park, Cascade. If you hear any of those cities I'm listing, or if you're near any of those cities, you are about to be under the gun for a severe thunderstorm that has been producing up to golf ball sized hail and now could produce some 60-mile-per-hour winds. So dangerous storm right now, moving over downtown Grand Rapids, and this is going to continue to move off to the north and the east. Not to take away from that, I do want to just update everyone on what's going on to our south. This is not in Michigan. I repeat, this is not in Michigan. This is in northern Indiana, but they are under a tornado emergency now for the city of Knox. That is a worst case scenario. A large and dangerous tornado is on the ground doing significant damage right now, and it's moving into a more populated area, which is the city of Knox. So if you know anyone down in that area around Knox, Indiana, or Oregon, Indiana, you're going to want to let them know that they need to be getting in their safe place right now. This storm looks to be moving off to the east, looks to be moving south of South Bend, kind of moving into the Turkey Creek area if it holds its strength. So we'll just keep an eye on that cell. But right now, it is south of West Michigan, impacting northern Indiana. And man, that is a massive storm. Lots of storms right now still ongoing in northern Illinois. Also southeastern Wisconsin, seeing quite a bit of thunderstorms. This is all moving in our direction. So these storms are going to progress off to the east. They could produce some large hail, and they also could produce some heavy rain, which has already led to some flooding. All right, we've seen reports of emergencies, some water rescues going on in portions of Ottawa County, and that could continue to be the case here as we see more storms and more rain that's moving over our area. All right, so we do have that severe thunderstorm warning still in place for Kent County. This storm looks to be holding on to its strength. So I would not be surprised if they issue a severe thunderstorm warning for eastern Kent County into Montcalm and northwestern Ionia County. We'll go ahead and wait for the National Weather Service on that. Actually, we could see an isolated storm develop ahead of that line in southwest Michigan. But right now, it looks like the biggest threat is going to be that line. You know, the lone cell right now that has popped up ahead of that line is in Knox, Indiana, and that is producing a tornado right now. They are under a tornado emergency in Knox, Indiana. That's a pretty rare case. and not a good situation at all for folks in Northwest Indiana this evening in and around the area of Knox. This right now is on track to stay off to the south, staying south of I-80. We will continue to watch this storm very closely. We are not ignoring it. We will watch it very closely, but I do want to give you an update because we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning for northeast Ionia County and southeastern Montcalm County, okay? This new severe thunderstorm warning goes until, let's see here. This new severe thunderstorm warning goes until 10:45, okay? And quarter-sized hail is the main concern. So we can see a new hail core that's kind of been forming northeast of Ionia. So once again, hail the concern. That will be the concern anywhere north of I-94. So right now, this hail looks to be kind of over North Plains or Ronald, Fulton, just south of Bloomer. Okay, so a new warning from the National Weather Service. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern Ionia and southeastern Montcalm County. We also have a separate storm that's producing quite a bit of lightning, heavy rain, and some hail over downtown Grand Rapids right now. Good news is this storm looks to be weakening. And I bet you it's because this other storm right now in northeastern Ionia County is kind of stealing some energy from that storm that is moving through Grand Rapids right now. Hagen, I can go ahead and show hour by hour here in just a few minutes. Also some heavy rain right now in northwestern Ottawa County. But if you're just now jumping in, we do have a tornado watch for Berrien, Cass, St. Joseph, and Branch counties. And we have a severe thunderstorm watch for the majority of West Michigan. And that is Van Buren, Kalamazoo, Calhoun, Allegan, Barry, Eaton, Ionia, Kent, Ottawa, Muskegon, and Montcalm counties. So there is an active severe thunderstorm warning in Ionia County and Montcalm County and also Kent County. Those are the only places that need to be taking immediate action. There is a watch across much of West Michigan, though, which basically just means that we have the ingredients for severe weather, and we'll have to watch that very closely. All right, let me switch over to our live Doppler radar right now. All right, so we've had some reports of, let's see here, let me read through this chat real quick. Looks like some, wow, 2.5-inch diameter hail in Hudsonville. So that is some very large hail. And that was that storm, right? That was, that's currently moving over downtown Grand Rapids. So that's a big deal. That's some big time hail. Let me go ahead and move back up there. The good news, though, is we'll keep this in play. That particular storm, you'll notice some of those white and blue colors. Watch as it moves. Let me zoom in a little more. Watch as it kind of moves over Hudsonville and Georgetown. You see how large that area is that is producing the blues and the whites right there? Okay, and watch it go into motion, and I'll pause it now. Okay, not that much hail indicated on satellite and radar. So the good news is that storm looks to be weakening, but there could be a little bit of hail with that storm right now moving through Grand Rapids. And we are keeping our eye on another storm that has gotten a severe thunderstorm warning in northeastern Ionia and also southeastern Montcalm County. The National Weather Service is going to issue a new severe thunderstorm warning for Kent and Ionia. That's for that storm that is currently moving over Grand Rapids right now. So we could still see some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts with that storm and also potentially some quarter-sized hail, even though that hail core right now looks to be weakening. All right, Brock saying, yeah, definitely 2.5-inch size diameter hail in Hudsonville. That's some incredible hail. This is that storm right now that moved over Hudsonville, is right over Grand Rapids. And this is going to continue moving off to the north and the east. We're watching a separate cell producing some hail right now in northeastern Ionia County. So there is the potential for some 2-inch diameter hail as this cell continues to move off to the north and the east. That's that new flashing yellow box that you'll see here. So if you're under that warning, we could be seeing some large hail in portions of eastern Kent and western Ionia County. So notice there's still some storms over Lake Michigan, and there is a big complex of storms right now over northern Illinois. And this is all going to be moving into our area. So let's go ahead and show you hour by hour. Let me just get back to that graphic real quick. Where is it? There we go. So let's move to about 10 o'clock. So this, obviously this isn't going to be perfect, but this will give you a little idea of what is expected. So notice kind of just different complexes of storms off and on throughout the overnight hours. Here's a look at what midnight could look like. Here's a look at what 2 o'clock could look like, So we'll see more widespread storms developing throughout the overnight hours. Between midnight and 2 o'clock, we'll see some more widespread storms with potentially some gusty winds. The main threat is going to be large hail. And then also we could see some rotation or some isolated tornadoes developing south of I-94. So that complex of storms is going to move off to the east by the time we get to around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And then our severe threat significantly decreases as we cruise into tomorrow morning. We're just going to be seeing some plain old rain. All right, so let's go ahead and check in on satellite or Doppler radar rather. So right now we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for eastern Kent and western Ionia County. That cell has been producing 2-inch diameter hail, or has a history producing 2-inch diameter hail. And then also this cell right now in northeastern Ionia County is producing some quarter-sized hail. So those are the 2 active warnings in West Michigan right now. We are keeping an eye on this cell that is moving through northern Indiana. Right now there's a tornado emergency for the city of Knox. A large and dangerous tornado is right now moving into the area of Knox. We also have a flash flood warning for Kent and Ottawa County. There was reports of an ongoing water rescue in portions of Ottawa County. And it looks like David's saying that 3rd Street in Northwest Grand Rapids is flooded. So the road is looking more like a river. So flooding is going to be another concern. We don't see flash flood warnings often with in West Michigan. So flooding is going to be a major concern on top of the threat for some hail. Right now, I'm in northern Indiana. This is not Michigan. This is northern Indiana. There is a tornado emergency for Knox. There is a large and dangerous tornado that is currently on the ground in Knox. Let's go ahead and I'm just looking on my phone at a little better velocity. So that looks to be staying off to the south. They did just issue a new warning. Looks like it just popped up. You can kind of see it flashing, a new tornado warning for Oregon, kind of moving just to the west of Plymouth as well in northern Indiana. There is a dangerous tornado down in that area. So if you have family, friends, anyone you know down in northwest Indiana, in Polk, Oregon, or just south of Kankakee, Knox especially, they are dealing with a tornado warning right now, a confirmed tornado that is on the ground. So we'll be watching that cell. Right now, you know, storms can kind of move a little off to the north, move a little further off to the east. Right now, this is on track to stay mainly to our south. Oh, yeah.
You can come up.
Yeah, I'll come join you.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm going to,
With me.
yeah. I'm going to have to end this stream, but you can catch us on Arc West Michigan at 10 o'clock, and then we'll be on News Channel 3 at 11 o'clock. I was losing track of
Sorry
time.
about that. And, we'll do the same thing we did at 5.
Okay, cool. All right. Stay safe, everyone. Catch us on Arc West Michigan.